Jake Paul just got obliterated in his boxing match against Anthony Joshua, but it wasn't for the reasons you might think. When your fan base is all under the age of 13, there could be nothing better than an offender serenading you on your way to your funeral. Let's just say, bad things tend to happen when you associate with Tekashi 6ix9ine. Together, these two make up the worst rap duo of all time. Jake and Tekashi have a lot in common. They both make horrible music, have face tattoos, and say the N-word. If you somehow missed the fight on Netflix, and you're not sure what I was referring to earlier, Jake Paul selected everyone's favorite rapper to walk him down the aisle. Jake had Tekashi perform during his ring walk, and the commentator wasn't having any of it, and just proceeded to talk uninterrupted over the whole performance. It was really an acceptable amount of disrespect. I found it super refreshing and kinda hilarious. This was one of those moments where Tekashi was coming back and trying to rise like the phoenix, when in reality his reappearance back into mainstream discourse was more like a parasite that somehow came back. You might know Tekashi for his online antics. Somehow you couldn't forget that Skittles hairdo though. Tekashi is most famous for his snitching, and also his alcoholic nonconformist attitude. Yet, although he's a multi-platinum selling artist, his humor has never really evolved past middle school. See Exhibit A, the 6ix9ine face tattoos he put on himself. These tattoos made him disgustingly rich. But if you were to have any regrets about them, it would be the fact that every middle schooler is now obsessed with 6'7", rendering him a completely outdated meme. Now I understand what Jake and Tekashi were going for. They were trying to portray this rogue, bad boy, punk, I don't give a fuck attitude. Because Jake was battling Anthony Joshua in the ring, I almost expected him to come out with some London slander. Because making fun of the British appears to be Jake Paul's favorite pastime. I'm making this video at 3 a.m, so my brain is completely fried. But I just can't stop smiling. I want to live my life on the righteous path and not prey on anyone's downfall, but let me tell you, I really enjoyed watching Jake Paul get hit in the face. I think the Disney actor was fairly compensated for it. In my day, I've taken a lot of brain damage, and it's not like I'm making 100 mil. I realized that I haven't been hating to my full potential. Watching this man get knocked out was one of the most satisfying experiences of my entire life. This was like when you first kiss your crush. Sounds insane to say, but I was just elated. I want to do good in the world, but let me tell you, nothing has brought me as much joy in recent memory as this. I don't think this is going to stop him from making a mockery of the sport of boxing, don't get me wrong. I watched this man cherry pick people from the literal grave, bolster his resume, and claim that he was the best boxer alive, and he hadn't fought a competitive fight with a real champion. Not even just a champion, like a legit ranked fighter at his weight class. Obviously, Jake is still young in his career. Getting hit by Anthony Joshua also might take a few years off, you know what I'm saying? This was kind of therapeutic. Jake spent the whole fight praying on his knees, repeatedly throughout the entire duration of the match. Anytime Anthony Joshua would come close, Jake either hit the cuddle button or the protest button. Either way, this was all just a matter of time. It's funny to think about now, but I was legitimately worried about the outcome of this fight. Because although Anthony Joshua is a physical specimen, he's also old by boxing standards. He was coming off a horrendous defeat. His defense really wasn't there. I seemed a little distracted, because I was so used to Jake having his way with these geriatric fighters. I was just used to experiencing the pain over and over again. Jake Paul claiming that he was the best fighter unchallenged by anyone. This fight has taught me that I'm sure I need to look inward, but whatever karma exists in the universe, this was cool. I need more of this. What I find funny about this fight is that Jake was originally trying to fight a 5'4" dude. After Gervonta Tank Davis was removed from the fight for being the worst person ever, I theorized that Jake was worried about losing his contract with Netflix. And although Anthony Joshua was a very formidable opponent who definitely would outclass him, I believe that Jake Paul made the calculation in his head that he wasn't going to sacrifice this Netflix deal, because Netflix wouldn't have justified the cost to run the production without a mass appeal celebrity. It needed someone like Anthony Joshua to be able to fill all the seats. I think one of the craziest parts of the fight is that Jake said that AJ might have broke his jaw, which again, that genuinely sucks, but maybe, and just maybe, he won't rap again. It's every day, bro, with the Disney Channel flow. At the end of the day, Jake and Tekashi 6ix9ine have completely mastered marketing to an audience in this attention economy. Know exactly what they need to do to get attention. They know that even if you are hating, you are probably still watching. So in the end, it's people like me that create the conditions for them to thrive. That being said, for full transparency, never in a billion years would I ever pay for a Jake Paul fight. I just opened my Netflix and saw what was there, you know? Anyways, it's that time in the middle of the night where my sentences don't even sound like sentences anymore, so I think that I need to clock out. Let me know your thoughts about this fight. Were you in any way impressed with Jake's stamina? Were you disappointed in AJ's initial output? Were you surprised by Tekashi? Do you think that's even a little bit insane that Netflix just gave Tekashi 6ix9ine a platform? And then in the middle of the undercard, there was an advertisement for the new Dave Chappelle special? This is like Fortnite levels of different IP. Anyways, I gotta go. Follow the madness.